Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't African. The thing show without a shadow of a doubt. But the so-called African American didn't come to America by the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous one, and tonight we're joined by the Accomack Princess from the Accomacks in Virginia, Miss Cypher.
Hello, Halito.
How you doing, love?
I'm good. I'm good. Good. Good.
You know,
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. With everything that's been going on with the Indigenous community, I want to talk about the state of the Indigenous community because what we've been seeing is like everybody is watching what we're doing and coming up with some kind of rebut to what we are doing. And I just want to talk about the state of the Indigenous people here in America.
Right. Let's get with that. So
Hit
a
it.
lot's happening. A lot's happening, and a lot's happening fast. Right.
Right.
So how do you navigate that? Because like even today, my daughter's like, Governor Kemp in Georgia is suing like the leaders of Atlanta for mandating that people wear masks because we're impeding, commerce, business, which is, you know, make all this happening has the indigenous people confused. Like not like we're already confused. We are it's added confusion, right? Added confusion because we don't know what to believe. We don't know who to listen to. We don't know what's right, what's wrong, who to side to be on. It's a very confusing state of affairs, and I think that we need to do more than just watch and listen. We need to really investigate and analyze. You know,
Yeah, well, I hear you say that, but when I try that here where I live, everybody looks at me like I'm crazy.
yeah,
Like,
they do. That's right. They think that you're crazy because you are, doing something outside the norm. But one of my acamaks shared a video with us today about sheep and how it's a video about with a waiting room full of people and how they put a beep and everyone, a couple of people started standing up, and then next thing you know, everybody who entered that waiting room was standing up on the beep sound. And then when everybody left the waiting room and the last person that entered the waiting room was there alone, she stood up when the beep sound came on by herself. And then when a new person entered that waiting room, she and culture she taught him that the beep meant they had to stand up. And so the two of them were standing up at the beep. So we are like a bunch of sheep. We are programmed to obey whatever edict comes our way, and that's been to our detriment, and it's been uh very, very, very lucrative for the people that are actually controlling the beeps. That's
well,
what basically it is.
okay, but how is that? And when we always come up, like if you and I are talking, in some circles, you and I will get smashed for
What
what
do
we
you mean?
we'll get smashed like, oh, them niggas don't know what they talking about. They just, and this stuff that we're seeing that's going on right in front of our faces, it's like that we made up the whole program ourselves.
Right. It's
Like
yeah.
you say, the state of the indigenous people. One of the things I can bring up is the wearing of these masks.
Right.
Negroes are on top of it, like they haven't seen nothing else. Put that mask on and shut your mouth. That's how we're going. That's how we're acting.
Right.
Why
Right.
is that? Why is that?
You know, we feel comfortable following the program. But what we don't realize is the end of the program is the slaughter. The slaughterhouse is the end of the program.
But okay, but
You
you
don't get to stay on the farm eating grass to a ripe old age. That's not the end of the program for us. It's really not. There have been some that have lived a ripe old age and they really haven't been to the slaughterhouse per se. But there's been several slaughterhouse periods. That happens with sheep. Like there are sheep that might live through and like, okay, well, I lived through da da da, and somehow maybe I skated by the slaughterhouse. I don't know. Really, most of the sheep make it to the slaughterhouse. So for us, we've had people that actually have bypassed the time to go to the slaughterhouse, and so they actually didn't go to the slaughterhouse per se. But not that they haven't watched others go. They witnessed others go. It's just when during their time period, they weren't the ones that were at that selectable point, right? But now it's coming to a time where everybody got to go. Like they're cleaning up the farm.
You can
This
see.
is this is something that has never been witnessed. They are cleaning up the farm. They shutting it down. The farm is for sale. So
Mm,
everybody's going to the slaughterhouse. We're not gonna keep, you know, poo poo because he's cute and he's, the little girl's pet. We're not gonna keep Skittles because that's, the first, little sheep or the last one we had, and we birthed him and he was a difficult. No, there is not gonna be anybody that's gonna escape the slaughterhouse. It doesn't matter how obedient you are. See, you know what? That's the other thing that we think. We think that by adhering to the rules, that they gonna like us better. We're gonna gain favor. You see, even religion, favor is gained by obedience. Everything that they teach us is that you must obey, right?
right.
Everything is about obedience. So therefore, in our minds, every time we obey, even the littlest of edicts, that is going to gain us favor, and we will be rewarded like Pavlov's dogs. We respond to these to the feeling that, oh, we're gonna get rewarded when we do right. You know, we're gonna get rewarded. Okay, that's the thing, right? So we work hard for those rewards. However, at the at this point in time, the reward system is changing forever. Forever. And your adherence to this reward perform system is to your detriment and death and destruction. That's what people are not getting. They're like, look, when I dance, when they say dance, I get things. I get things. I'm winning. They're always winning, right? However, this time in history is a game changer.
One of the things that went on this week, and this, and I'm not into the mainstream hoopla,
Hmm.
but one of the things which I hear a lot of people talking about is this actor Nick Cannon. Now,
Oh, they're talking.
in the scheme of things, he's
Right,
nothing, and he's nothing.
right.
But what do stories like that? What does that get the African American to thinking and being like?
Well, I mean, I don't understand. Like Nick Cannon is not very bright. I mean, I like him, but he's really not the sharpest tool in the toolbox, right? And I'm sad about that because he really does a lot of reading and he really does a lot of trying to learn, and he does a lot of research of sorts. But I don't know how he's missing so many parts. I mean, it confounds me because I can't really tell the people who are sincerely just not adept or not informed, and those that are actually just getting, um, rewarded for their, uh, you know, trying to confuse the masses. I don't know where he falls in that. I don't know if he's just getting rewarded because he's confusing more of the masses with his stupid dollar store turbans, which annoy me because I'm like, really, you are a multimillionaire. You can't afford a better turban than one at the Korean stores. I don't understand. I'm confused. I'm confused about that, and I'm confused why he seems to like even his guests like he doesn't even really know all the details of what's going on and in reality like he just sticks to a script. So I tend to believe that he actually is being he's part of the clique. You know, he's not he he he's one of those, like I said, those people that pretend to be radical with the but they got that real soft ice cream edge. Like they're not really radical, but they because they got ice cream on the other side. They just mushy, melty ice cream. You know, they're just showing an edge just to try to bring people in. You know, to bring people in so that they could also be like ice cream on the edge. They really don't have any substance. You know, they're
Well,
just it's just a facade.
yeah, well, that makes sense because one of the things I noticed, a person to the African American community, a person doesn't mean anything if he doesn't have a lot of money. And today, I heard somebody say that Nick Cannon is a billionaire.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that possible? How is an actor a billionaire? Could you explain that?
I mean, that is what that's what we spend the money on, right? What do we spend money on in this country except entertainment? How is it that today, our athletes are the actual like the titans? They're the kings, they're the knights, they're like the next in line royalty of our country because of how much they make, and really because of how much we pay them by buying all this stupid gear, covering our cars up with the stupid gear, our head to toe in their gear. Our cups in it we got cups in there. We drink it, we eat it. It's ridiculous. So we support. They're making masses, and more than that, we support trillionaires that own the teams.
Right.
We support trillionaires that own the the movie companies. So we support this. We created this because back in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s, the actors were not well paid. Actors were just that entertainment court jesters. They were not remunerated. They were not receiving money like that made them into the leader. Now we're making them into leaders because they make so much money.
But is
Oh,
it? But is
now
it?
they're automatically leaders because of how much money they earn, not because of anything they've achieved, but just because of their checks, the checks that we give them. Hmm, that's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay. So this is what I mean by that. Okay, like with this COVID-19 shit, we only know what they tell us. We don't think about it. We don't think about the realities. We don't look at anything. Whatever the TV says, we're just, yes, boss, you're right.
Right.
Could that be the same with these entertainers, actors, and all this stuff? Because these are the main people who control the thought process of the African American.
Right, and they know this. So what's the first thing they did was put out there going Forrest Gump to tell us that he had COVID. That's the first thing they did. And you don't think that that's a mass manipulation? Because he's like a Melungeon. He's like a mixed kind of. He's not real white. He's got that little kind of bit of that little melanin in him, and he's got a little bit of curl to his hair, enough for us to kind of feel comfortable with him, and he's white enough to be white.
Right.
So they put him out first. Okay, I got COVID. My wife got COVID in Australia on vacation. Right. Then what they did, that didn't really convince us enough. So they had to get Idris Elba. Because the sisters in America, they really vibrate for that guy. Like he's got indigenous look to him, you know, and they really feel that. Okay. So and the women, there goes the whole family, right? What mama said, oh, Idris got it. It's real, right? So there goes the whole family. Because once mama says it's real to everybody. So the manipulation is happening. That's how they work this whole manipulation. I mean, the stars are we fall. The stars are our stars. We worship them. They are bigger than the church now, right? When I asked my daughter what's going on in current events, she said Megan Thee Stallion got shot by Tony something. I was like, what?
Making what?
Megan Thee Stallion got shot by Tony somebody. Like that's the news. That's the news. Megan Thee Stallion got shot. And so I'm like, okay, I know she's a rapper. I'm not really clear about that much about Megan Thee Stallion, but like, okay. So I mean, but that's how.
I thought it was a horse.
No, Megan the Thee Stallion is a rapper, and she's on Beyonce. They do a song together called Savage. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so basically, the news is about Megan Thee Stallion got shot by Tony Lanez. That's the news. That's what's big right now. It's 3 hours ago or so, 5 hours ago now. Billboard all over the place. That's the news. So that's what we vibrate. We vibrate following these stars, these quasi people, these people that are, in the limelight for a moment, forever, how long. And that's what we worship. We worship them. And they can use us like they can use T.I. to put him up front. And they use them like they use daggone Killer Mike, who, some of us used to respect before he actually sold his soul to the New World Order and said, I bow down to the New World Order and I'm going to tell lies for you. Yeah, she got shot in the leg. Yeah. Okay.
So this is what I mean. This is what I mean by indigenous people are always in the front line, just like this sister Dee Dee is saying.
Right.
Megan Thee Stallion shot in the leg. You just talked about that.
Megan, yeah.
Will and Jada, blah 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 blah, and it's more bullshit.
Right.
I mean, why is the news? Being that the news is always circulating around us, you would think we have gotten it by now.
No, we don't get it. They do it. There's a lot of like, yeah, everybody's obsessed with us. The world is obsessed with us. Everybody copies us, our music, our energy, our style, our everything, our inventions. They copy us, but we don't really see that at all. We don't see the fact that we had a university back in 1837, way before emancipation. How the hell are you daggone chattel slaves if you got a university, Cheney State? How do you have that happen? How do you have a university that's owned by you, made by you in 1854 if you are chattel? So we don't even see the stuff that's blatantly in our face that proves to us that this cannot be. This whole daggone, mystery of history has to be resolved, has to be clarified. We can't even see that. Well, so we need to look at what's happening today. And we need to understand what happened in the past. And at this juncture, it is very important that we don't repeat the same stuff. We got the weakest leaders in the history of us being Negro Indians or Aboriginal Indians or Indigenous Indians or Indians AmeRicans. We have the weakest leadership. We got Killer Mike and T.I. They put Farrakhan, and they put what's his name? What's the other one? I can't even think. What's his name? They put Farrakhan in Atlanta at the same time as they put I forget the other guy. But anyway, somebody will remember it. But anyway, they're in Atlanta at the same time, and nobody cares. Nick Cannon is mentioning Farrakhan. Why? Because he's part of the same agenda. Because what has Farrakhan done for anybody? Can anybody name one thing?
I got a piece of sugar-free bean pie.
Oh, sugar-free. That's awesome. What did they use for the sugar? Anyway, or for the sweetness, they just used plain beans. It was just a bean. Anyway, so basically, He hasn't done anything for anybody. Okay. Why we think he's so lauded, like he's so great? Why do we love people just because they look good and they can speak well? Why do we worship people just because we think they look fly and they speak a good game? Why do we give them so much credibility?
So
Why?
after so after
Mhm,
all this time, because you're right, you're right. You, I
mhm.
mean, the people that like it's like that cat who was supposed to start the Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass School. I mean,
Right,
when you listen to this dude, he sounds like a fucking idiot.
right. And why do we think he's great?
And this cat got over $1 million in donations. And then I'm starting to look at, well, it's not him, it's the people that listens and follows. It's the masses.
Right. So what does that say about us as masses of people? That means, I mean, you're right. He does. He sounds really ignorant. Like if you really listen to him, he's like an idiot. He does sound like a complete moron. Like
Right.
he's really not very sharp. He sounds like he's really like off track of what he even intends himself. And so, I mean, I don't understand how he has all these followers. But I think it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's how much energy you vibrate that gets people all lit. Like the ADOS people. It's that energy that they get all like. It's that energy that they give out that people get attracted to. Like, yeah, you talking like you mean shit, and you're like, yeah. And yeah, and then you articulating it like, yeah, it's a fact, and people get all energized around it, and it's all like smoke and mirror stuff. It's not real. You see what I'm saying? A lot of it, we're all energy. It's all about energy exchange. So it's a lot of it ain't what they saying. It's the energy they're showing off that they're displaying while they're saying nothing.
Okay. So what is
How
this?
about that?
Okay. So here's mine. So you have the civil rights. Let's say that group of people, if you're going to lump them in the same, they're
Right,
sitting down now. They have
right,
nothing. They've done nothing. They've done nothing.
right,
But they're still pushing this fossil Joe Biden through.
right.
What is that for? What does that signify?
Well, they're pushing him because he's the new order selected person, right? Joe Biden is selected for the new world order. Is he gonna be in charge? No, it'll probably be Hillary. But the figurehead for the New World Order, the selection for the election is Biden by both parties. That's Republican and Democrat. Understand this. The Democrat and the Republican Party are on the same team right now. The reason that Trump is standing there making a fool out of himself, making these statements, and ain't nobody trying to correct or stand by him or really even do anything for him is because they already got their candidate, and it's Biden. And there is nothing to be gained for the new world order if Trump wins. Now you can hate Trump, you can think he's an idiot, you can think he's a redneck, I don't care, you can think he's a racist, and he may be all of those things. But he's not in the new world order. And the new world order is going to change the way you live forever. So it's time for indigenous people to stop being like, I'm not involved in politics. I don't really think an Indian should be involved. Not voting is making a decision. When you don't do anything, you are already doing something. So acting like you're neutral or you're gonna be no part of it, that's not a neutral vote. You voted for the new world order because you're not voting against it. I'm just gonna say it like that because that's the way it is. If you are voting for Democrats, or if you're staying saying, "Oh, Indians shouldn't be involved," we need to not be no part of politics. That's not Indian bullshit. You don't know what the fucking Indian is because guess what? You haven't even been able to claim that you're Indian. And if you're the real Indian and you haven't been able to claim it, then what the fuck are you establishing that fact on? Nothing. There is no precedence. So what you need to do is understand what's really happening and stop being stupid. Yeah, you may not like Trump. Yeah, he might be a 10-year-old, have a 10-year-old mind. Yeah, he might say stupid motherfucking things. Yeah, he might be a fucking racist. I don't care. Because the alternative is the changing of everything the way we know it and having things implanted in us and being puppets on a level that we can't even comprehend. So wake the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, you
wake up.
And what is the problem with that? What is the problem? Because I'm thinking the community is flooded.
What do you mean?
I think the community is flooded with this bullshit, this New World order, boule. Because I was watching Cynthia McKinney, and I know how you feel about Cynthia McKinney, and she's no great, but she said something that was reality about the child trafficking thing. This child trafficking thing. She was saying that the church is knee deep in it. And so when that's said, people act like, oh, how could that? The church? No. And I'm like, the church has been shit since the first day I went.
Well, people, you know, this is the thing. I mean, she's really, I mean, I don't trust anybody who comes from a district that has allowed the schools to have a super highway, not even a super highway, almost a daggone rocket ship to this prison system. Okay, we got sheriffs that and sheriffs cars and bars around our high schools. We got stuff like that. Okay, we got bars around the perimeter of our high schools, and we got sheriff cars at every school and middle school that is indigenous. So you're gonna tell me that I'm a lean on somebody who comes from an area that allowed that to happen? That is a concern to me. That is I don't know anybody who said their child was taken, so I don't know about that. Okay, I don't know about, but I know people who got their kids hemmed up because of the school system. There's a cop right in their freaking school. How about that? So some of this shit that people be talking is a distraction from you to be concerned about the real shit. Child trafficking, is that really as big as fucking our kids going to jail and getting records? Come on.
Well, I mean, when you talk to
these people, the thing that these people do, these boule people, they create things that they are passionate about that you think, oh, they on point, but really they distracting you from what you really need. They really need to be on point on. Cynthia McKinney got a couple of roads and bridges named after her, and she's about the same age as I am. So what the fuck was she doing? I don't understand it. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not going to get into that, but you know, I'm just saying. People need to understand that half of these people got all kinds of agendas, and most of it is selfish. It's selfish.
Oh man, you just took my train of thought somewhere else.
Sorry.
Sorry. But here it goes, because you were talking about the schools and how they're locking these kids up. And a sister told me one time that Thurgood Marshall, the Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. And so one of the things when you listen to Negroes talk about the civil rights era, and that, to me, that was a shit time in history.
Right.
But Thurgood Marshall, he was the Brown versus the Board of Education.
Right.
And today his grandson is the CEO of the prisons. So when you talk about boule and blah, 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 this stuff set up years and years in advance.
Their kids follow and they inherit their agendas because they're obligated to, because they inherit that money. They inherit that payoff. So they are obligated to also inherit that agenda and to carry it forward. And we carry on the agendas of our parents. We're carrying over that burden of either them not voting or voting for the wrong people, of us not speaking up, not waking up, and not responding but responding in the wrong way. We cannot carry on with the same thing that we've done time and time before. We cannot repeat history. This is the time in history where we cannot afford to do it. Not this time.
So what direction do you think we should take? Because remember, the civil rights movement is done.
Right.
That was a fucking waste of 60
Well,
years.
if we have to vote for Trump. We indigenous American and Indians need to vote for Trump. Not because we agree with Trump, but let me tell you, before Trump said the African Americans need to know their history, I wrote to him and I said to him, you need to speak out on the fact that most African Americans are actually American Indians. You need to let the people know that that's the fact. And then 3 days later, he made that statement. I also gave that same daggone email to Biden. Nothing happened. Let me tell you, you need to vote for Trump, not because I'm not getting anything. Nobody's really nothing from them. Not even really, not really nothing. But nothing is coming to me from Trump. But the fact that everything from my ancestors down to my toes is telling me that if we let this new world order happen, we are doomed. We are doomed. We are doomed.
So can you see that? Can
And
you
if
see?
you can't afford to sit back and say we're Indians, we don't need to be involved in politics. I had people tell me criticizing me for my jump to Trump page. Okay, fuck you. Are you crazy? Do you understand that that not voting is a vote? Not voting is still a vote because your lack of voting is a vote for what we don't need, which is a new world order. And you need to understand that the Democrats, that's what they're bringing in. Every time they say wear a mask, they're saying, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's what they're saying.
Wow.
That's what they're telling you.
So TMAC in New York City says, what's going on with the bickering in the indigenous community? Do you think that has a lot to do with the bickering that's going on in the community? Because we don't
Yes.
want to be a part. We want to just stay in the background. We don't want to say nothing.
Right. That's a lot of what's going on. A lot of people are feeling, first of all, that, myself, not really, I'm not anybody, but Phoenix Moon is very vocal about her politics, and I love her for that. And that they want to be against that because they feel like, oh, it's wrong. Indians should. And I had somebody tell me point blank, how are you liking all this and that, but you're gonna be like against, siding with somebody on the fact that they're talking about we shouldn't. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I just feel like Indians shouldn't be getting involved. That's not. You know what? It's time for Indians to get involved and be in charge. We see, this is the whole thing. If you don't get involved, you're letting somebody dictate your direction. If you're okay, you know what not being involved is this. This is what it is. You on a bus and there ain't no driver and you're sitting in the back letting this out of control bus go wherever it goes. That's what not getting involved is. Somebody gotta drive your bus. And if you're on the indigenous American Indian bus, somebody gotta drive it. Who's driving it? Who can drive it? And which direction are you going to take? So if you not can't decide on that and you want to stay neutral, you ain't going nowhere. You gonna be still. Or you gonna go off a cliff. So you have to decide on your direction. You have to decide on who's the driver. You have to decide on what your GPS, where your destination is. You have to decide. We don't have the option of being neutral at all. At all. Do you
Uh,
not
do,
understand how people could say that and be conscious, alert, awake, alive people? Like, how do you not get that you got to make a decision? Sorry. So, yeah, you got to do something. And doing nothing is doing something in the worst kind of way. because you're saying I'm okay with everything that's going on. I'm okay with the lies that people are telling me. I'm okay with the restrictions they placing on my life. I'm okay with they're taking away my job. I'm okay with they're taking away my business, my restaurants, my rights, my liberties, my justice. I'm okay with they're taking away my existence. That's what you're saying when you say I don't want to. We Indians shouldn't vote. Indians should. And who are these people? I doubt these are the dummies. The people that are fighting against the people that are thinking are not very smart. They're not very intelligent. And the people that are following behind them, yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that kind of ignorance. We can't afford to be that kind of ignorant. But you know what we need to do? So what we are doing and what we are need to do is what is actually happening. The people that are very wise and intelligent, like Phoenix Moon, like you, like all these other people that are very astute, are united, and we're all going to get together, and we all are together. And what you can count on, it's like, okay, so like I have our acamacs have a summit in October. Well, that summit is not going to be an acamac summit like it was supposed to be. It's still an acamac summit, but it's a united summit. So it's going to be Phoenix Moon. It's going to be no grandma killers. It's going to be wild feathers, and it's going to be, the Accomack Indian Indigenous Summit, all wound up into one, because that's how we're rolling. We got to roll into this new day united. We got to roll into it to united. We cannot be divided. So we can show them better than we can do anything. So these people that are fighting, the best way to show them how to be is to be what they need to be. Okay?
Check.
To be what they cannot be.
Check.
You can talk on the sidelines, you can go and pull somebody's ponytail, but you can't get up and do nothing. Oh, you want to pull my locks, but you can't do nothing?
So do you think that's a part of people doing all this stupid shit? Do you think that's a part of they do that stupid shit so they don't have to do nothing? That's their excuse to not do nothing.
They do want it. You're right. They do want an excuse to not do nothing. So they want to be justified in saying, well, that's not Indian to be voting and getting in politics. That's not Indian. What the hell are you talking about? What have we done that was intelligent and wise that has gotten us free and gotten us land and had us achieve the things that we are really aiming to achieve? What have we done? We haven't gotten there yet. So how can you say what Indians should do when we haven't done it yet? We are yet to do it, but we are doing it, and you're not doing it, because a smart person, first of all, you don't bring your dirty laundry out in front of people. That's what your grandma told you. You don't do that. So if you got a problem with me and my Jump to Trump page, then message me, inbox me. We can chat it up, and I can explain to you my full rationale for it. And maybe we can reach an understanding, maybe not, but you don't have to do it publicly and create dissension amongst the masses. What are you trying to do? Who are you? What kind of person? That's the thing I get frustrated with some of the people. Why do you not see that for what it is? When people make public negative statements about another person, why do you not distrust that? Why?
And that's all you've ever seen. It never works.
That's why I don't get, why are we not smart enough to get that when people actually come for other people who are trying to help people, who are trying to teach people, who are trying to organize people in a way that is helpful to them and to get them, information is beneficial. Why do you why do you side with other people who talk crack about that other person? Why do you listen to that trash? Why do you listen to that trash talk when you sit up there? You all on Phoenix's page. Oh, hey, Phoenix. Oh, yeah. Rah, Phoenix. And then the next moment, you on this other person's page saying, yeah, why would anybody be on Trump's side? Blah, 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 blah. Why are you talking trash? Why are you talking out of both sides of your mouth? Decide. Be focused. And don't be two-faced. Well, I just think I agree. That's how I agree. I just agree because I just feel that the Indians shouldn't be political. You think Indians shouldn't be political when everything we do to get anything that we want is going to be a political move? Then you're stupid as shit. You are dumb as hell. How do you not get that politics is involved in everything we do? And that me, as an academic, my politics is that I fucking know what's going on. I know. And even though all my academics do not necessarily agree with me, they rock with me because they understand that me being up front and being unshakable protects them. Me being up front and being like, fuck y'all, I know what you're doing and I'm not falling for it. I know about COVID intimately. I know about the history intimately. I know where we were and who's who and the names, and I know my people intimately. And I'm not afraid to say that I'm not just claiming stuff for myself, but I'm claiming it all. These people that you're calling African Americans are the indigenous people of this land. And that they would rather my academics would rather I just said we're Indian. They would rather I just said it for us. Right?
I see why.
You see why. It's easier, it's less controversial,
No, it's that, but really, since we've been doing this, the people who are African Americans, it's like the sisters say, they don't want to take accountability. You don't want to have to take accountability to get with people and come up with a program or a solution to get your land. You're not trying to be politically people. You're not trying to be one big fist. Everybody's trying to be an individual. That's why when we give the information out, motherfuckers just take the information and go do their own shit, bring in that Hebrew Israelite, that Moor shit, and mix it up with the Indian shit, and it's just more confusion.
Right.
So then it goes back to the sister's statement that we don't want to take accountability. That's why we do all that stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's right. And that's true. She's right, DD Queen, because, basically the fact of the matter is that we have to make moves. That, this is more, claiming you're indigenous is more than a spectator sport right now. You can't sit up in the bleachers and stomp your feet right now. It's more than that. You got to get up and get in the game right now. That's what has to happen, because things are changing at a neck-breaking rate right now.
Neck breaking.
Neck breaking. Knee on the neck breaking.
Seriously.
As fake as that was, is as real as this is. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And
as fake as that shit was, is as real as this really is for us, because they really want to kneel on our necks. They really do. What are we? And they really are kneeling on our necks, and we don't know it. And we think that the solution is to be still and shut up. Really? When you say Indians are political, you're saying that the solution is to be still and shut up. And maybe they won't notice that we're here. Really? Well, my solution is to say, my solution is not, because we're not going to win, being negative. This is not a war of negativity. This is a war of positivity, right? So my solution is to be as positive as possible. And while they're talking about no, 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 I say yes, yes, yes. And while they're saying, this no, oh, can't, I'm saying can. And and you are looking for solutions constantly and looking for something positive, and looking for solutions and trying to do positive things in your community and organize your people. You have to have political allies. Those of you that are not doing anything would know about that. You wouldn't know because you're not doing anything. You're just spectating. But once you get to the point where you've actually spoken to your family, educated them about 3 or 4 times, fought with them about 20 times, got back together with them again, reached out to the strangers that are part of your community, your tribal people. By the time you get to that, you'll understand that the next move is political. And it's going to be political, because that's what the game is. And if you don't understand the game, you dead. You dead.
So going back to what's going on, the political part of it in the last couple of weeks, they're just killing the Redskins name, the Washington Redskins name.
Oh yeah.
Also, they
Yeah.
gave that half the state of Oklahoma to Native Americans. When
Right.
when indigenous people see that, what do you think goes through their minds?
Obviously nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously nothing, sadly. Because there are people in this community who, I got people from Oklahoma. Well, what the fuck you doing? Because if that was cooking and I was in my neck of the woods, I'd be like, how does it, what? And it's becoming a rejuvenation of the knowledge that of the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombings. In the wake of that, being more publicly acknowledged, you're gonna give away land to people that aren't us. So what are these people that are Afro Indians doing? What are these so-called Indigenous Americans doing? What are they doing? You see what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying.
You have to be political. You cannot not be political because every day they are saying you don't count.
Every day.
Every day. Every day. You guys, I'm sitting there watching movies here in the hotel and I'm like, what is this Indian guy doing Beatles songs? Okay. Were the Beatles inspired by Pakistani people? No. Who created the Beatles but us? They were born from us. So now we got a Pakistani in a movie singing Beatles songs badly. And it's a whole fucking movie. And know what that's to do? That's to tell you that this is the Indian we like. We like this Indian. This is the good nigga Indian. So they always put the good nigga Indians in front of us, right? They always want they want to give the illusion that the world has embraced this new image of what a nigga Indian is, right? And I know people don't like that term, but it's good in this point. It's actually very poignant, is what I want to say. So basically, they want the world to see that, right? But do they like this Pakistani Indian image? Do they like them? No. Let's be honest. Pakistan, these people from Istanbul are not the most likable folks of color.
Hold up.
They really aren't.
Now hold up, wait a minute. You got their religion with the Nation of Islam. You have a Pakistani religion. You took your religion from a Pakistani man. So isn't it fair to say that we're into that too? We love other people too that don't have nothing to do.
Well, no, that's an Indian trait. Now, we love everybody. We just full of love for everybody except each other. But we love everybody. That's how we got into the state of being. Okay, we have more love for the outsiders than we do our own family. That is an actual indigenous Indian characteristic. Let's understand it. Put it under the top. Put it under letter A. You know, always loves other people. That's the first thing. That's the first thing about us that you need to know. Always loves other people. That's the first. That's the first thing you need to put under who we are.
Right.
American Indian always loves other people. Okay, so that's a given. That's I don't know. I don't think that that's something that we can correct. It's really in us. It is really in us. Yeah. I don't think we can get. I don't think that can be bred out. It's just in us.
Where does that come from?
We are very, we're hospitable. We're party people. We're hospitable. We like people to have a good time. We like to be giving. We like other people, and we like a little strange. We like a little different. We like a little something different. We like a little try a little different something. We're like that. So it's just that's just how we are. It's just the way we are. It's our nature. And
But it
you know
hasn't gotten us. It hasn't gotten us nowhere.
it hasn't gotten us anywhere, but I mean, it'll take a lot of effort for that to disappear. The only thing that we can do to as a protection moving forward is to understand that everything that glitters ain't gold. And just because it look good, it ain't good. And we have to look at the soul and not the exterior, because that has been our downfall. It's like these people that we put up as our leaders, and we respect these news people like they got sense and they're intelligent, and respect these daggone health officials like they're intelligent and they care and they got sense. They got none of that. They're not knowledgeable, they don't care, and they don't have sense. But we respect them because they're on the TV and they look like they should. They wearing a suit. They're not wearing a gorilla suit. They're not, they're not disheveled and looking like they're on a bender. You know, that doesn't mean they weren't snorting cocaine before they went on the camera. That doesn't mean that they're not the most diabolical and devious, horrible people in the world, which they are. But we just go by what we see on the screen, so it's all good. So I mean, we have to be heart people, because we are a heart people. We have a lot of soul. We are all soul people. And so what we need to use, we have to develop our third eye. We have to develop our intuitiveness, our intuitive mind, instead of using just these and the lust or whatever else is directing us. But we have to use our intuitive mind. We have to develop that. We have to develop that. And we have to stop, letting all these poisons toxify ourselves with fluoride and all the other stuff that makes us our third eye weak. And we have to develop that, because that's really important for us to be able to see people for who they are, to feel, and not even see them, is to feel people for who they are.
You're listening to the State of the Indigenous Indian on African Americans and Africans podcast, and you just said something, that they sent with the fluoride and the pineal gland.
Hmm.
How is it that the majority of us have never even heard of that when this has been around forever?
I mean, a lot of us haven't heard of a lot of things. A lot of us are watching video games and porn.
So,
Hello.
so
I mean,
isn't
come on. Like, a lot of us are watching have been engulfed in watching sports, and that's all we watch. Some of us watch soap operas and reality TV, and that's all we watch. We have this MK Ultra that is controlling our lives, and we're not really thinking about a lot. And that's the plan, right? That's the end game.
but but this has been going on for a long time. So, but I guess you can say a whole lot of the civil rights programs have been going on for a long time, and we still follow that like it's great. What do you think about earlier this week when they were talking about shutting down the schools forever? Do you think that's a time now for the so-called Indigenous Americans or the African Americans or the Black people? Do you think it's that time now for us to look at other alternative ways to educate ourselves?
We gotta come to an understanding of ourselves first of all. I mean, yeah, we can do that, but it's like we have a lot of deeply confused people. We was I was talking to one of my academics today about somebody who was in a chat, a genealogy chat with us, and got into it with me about, because we get into, I'm often in like other places like This Is Now, where Biden does his live, kind of interactions with the public. And I throw daggers at Biden, on a regular basis. They call me Russian bot and all that kind of stuff. And I get into genealogy chat rooms and I talk about being Indian and they get all mad at me and talk about their African roots and shit. So anyway, this one person who happened to be asserting that she's African has a surname that is clearly Pamunky. And she's actually related to somebody who is kind of, prominent within the Pamunkies. But she was fighting me tooth and toenail talking about being African. And I don't understand that this whole thing of wanting to cling to being African when the Africans don't really love us. Like, they don't love us and they don't remember us and they don't claim us unless they get a check for it. So why are you so hot on being them when they don't want to claim you unless they are given a check to tell the lie?
I don't. See, that's what I mean. I don't get. How is all this stuff common sense right in our face and we don't see it?
Yeah. I don't understand why they, I mean, okay, let me be fair to them, because me and my sister got into it a little bit. She loves you, Carrie, but she was talking about Cornell West. And that's where she was loving everything until she mentioned Cornell West, and I was like, that's a coon. That's like the king of the coons. And she was like, "What? I love him. He is so intelligent and he's a philosopher." And he did it. And I was like, "Okay, Deborah. Okay, I'm sorry. Called out my sister's name. That's okay. She'll probably like that." Anyway, I was like, if he is really researched and he is really intelligent and he's a really big reader, then he knows the truth,
Right,
right?
right.
If he does not know the truth, then he's not really smart and he's not that great of a researcher. It's either one or the other. Either he's a liar and a fraud and he's misleading the multitudes, or he's really not as smart as they think and he's just really not as doesn't really research anything. It's either one or the other.
Wow.
And what I should have told her was this. This would have made her change. See, sometimes it's how you talk to your family. If I said this to my sister, if I said, "Deborah, either I'm a genius and that I figured this out and he's an idiot, or he already knows, but he's misleading people." That would have got her to change her mind. I bet you. Use
So,
that. Use that on your family.
so
Use that.
that's what it looks like to me. All of these people who are put on the TV screen,
Right.
every single last one of them are there to confuse.
They're there to confuse you and mislead you. And Killer Mike, y'all saw how Killer Mike cried when he did that first thing where he came out and talked about the COVID or whatever he was talking about. I think it was the COVID, right? Or well, no, it was the black people messing up things in Atlanta. Was he crying because of the messing up of Atlanta? No. He was crying because he was made to make a decision on where his butter was, where his bread was going to be buttered. That's why he was crying. He had to make that ultimate decision for that big, big holy check or to be possibly gone. Possibly he could have a death. He could be gone, or so him or his could have been gone had he made the wrong decision. And he was crying because he had to trade himself. He had to be a traitor to his own people. But right now, he's so comfortable with telling a lie. I guess the check was really awesome because he just, oh yeah, put your face mask on. He's just real cool with it. He's all good with it. He just skips and he hops and he jumps and he does his little dance. He does whatever they script him to do without any kind of effort or any kind of flinching or anything, because I guess that money is so friggin' awesome that they give them that you don't feel any pain. So we have to understand that these people are being they're being compensated for all the stuff that they are doing. And then but you know what I don't understand this check this out. Check out. So all these stars are misleading us, and they're saying all kinds of things. Yeah, stay at home, be safe. And yet, who's on the screen? So you watch Netflix. You know that my sister brought this to my attention. Penny, she brought it to my attention. She was like, "Yeah, Issa, Issa, on that Insecure, she's African. Well, so is her best friend on the show, African." And then you see another series is on a couple other series is on Netflix, African. Two comedy specials, two or three comedy specials, Africans who ain't even funny. They're not even funny. They're not even great actresses. But yet they are prominent stars in 3 series on Netflix and 3 comedy specials. They should have gone to our people. But yet we're so kumbaya, yeah, we're pan African. They can come up in our daggone country, take all the checks, and we're good. Are we good?
Yeah, we're spiffy.
We're spiffy with that. We're great. We're great that when I work, the baby nurses that I work with are rarely American Indian. We're okay with that? That they're not even letting our babies get through school, be educated as nurses? But they're pushing all these people from other countries to come and take our daggone positions in school and take our jobs, and they're paying them to do it. We're okay with that.
I don't think there are jobs. There are other people's jobs, and they just pick us out because that's what I mean. I think that 13%, we're 13%. I think that's been going on too long because we don't know, because we don't count ourselves. But they can bring in other people to replace us. And when we realize that all the people that we have killed out ourselves, because that's something that we don't want to talk about. We don't want to talk about the atrocities we do to ourselves. We like to talk about other people doing it. We argue when it brings up, yo, man, why we dogging each other out like this and the whole world is against us? What does it look like us beating up on each other? We never want to talk about that. Whenever it comes time to talk about some reality, we talk about something else. What is that? Where does that come in under the civil rights movement, church, school, whatever?
Well, we understand that everything has been to control and colonize us. Like, the church, that's a big colonizer. We gonna, oh, I'm gonna get my reward when I go to heaven, Lord of Jesus. Oh, when I'm by your side, Lord, I'll be in heaven. It's gonna be glorious. But everybody's scared to die. Put a mask down. We're gonna die. Don't you want to go be by your Lord? Put a mask on. So where's your faith? Where is your faith in this? That you are shutting down your room, your doors of your church because you're afraid to die. But the Bible says, greater is your day of leaving this earth than your day is in coming into this earth. So which is it? Do you believe that or not? Where's your faith? You believe that it's better to be by the side of your God, of our God. That's where we should be. That heaven is greater than earth. Then why are you running from it? Why are you running? Why are you trying? Oh, I'm gonna die. Well, death is good, right? Death is glorious because, ooh, I'm working hard and I'm suffering, but ooh, my glory is gonna come on the other side. That's what they taught us. That your life is shitty, but guess what? When you die, it'll get better, Negro. When you die, it'll get better. That's what they wrote in the book for us. And we believe it. No, we don't. We don't, but we say we do. Like, I don't.
Okay, well, we see what's going on now with this new world order that's coming in. We seeing that there's no more school. We're seeing that they're changing the whole calendar around as far as sports and everything.
Hmm.
Food, the way food is delivered, you can't go to a restaurant. You got,
Right,
I mean, just in the past few months, all this is taking place. And
right,
what I'm seeing is that the Negro, they're the first. They're pushing it harder than anybody.
right.
So,
They're put. They are, because we are the queens and kings of compliance. We are the kings and queens of compliance. But then again, I mean, it depends on where you're at. You know what I mean? It depends on where you're at. Like in Decatur, not so much. You know, but like it depends on where you're at, but the reality is that what we should be about is about being resistant to anything that's going to oppress us, and to stand on our principles and our intelligence, and be that requires that you be political. And you know what, you should not be afraid to tell them we ain't falling for this nonsense. And you should not be afraid to write your local and your government politicians. That's what you should be doing. Like, send an email. It doesn't take nothing for me to send an email to Trump, or today going, whatever the other one, Biden. Why aren't you doing that? Because you can't change anything by talking to each other. You can't change a thing, but you write to your governor. The governor Kemp. I'm all down with that. I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna write a support letter to him. What the world? Thank you. Stop the foolishness.
so what is the thing going on with him? And the mayor of Atlanta's a Negro woman, right?
She's a Negro woman, and I heard that she's on a short list to be vice president.
So what's her skilo?
I don't really know her, honey, but I do know that I heard from someone of a reliable source that she's on this short list to be VP. And there are some indigenous Negroes that are on that whole Democratic inside team. Do they know that this is a new world order team? Maybe they don't. Maybe they do. Maybe they're part of the plan. I don't know. Do understand that there may be some indigenous people that are on the new world order team.
Oh,
They
I'm
may be part of that scheme. So, I mean, if they're complicit and they're compliant, they might be for a damn good reason.
So
But
would you say all the people who are, like forefront, like you were talking about Tiller Mike and all these other people, the people who are in the forefront, they have to see this shit.
they are part of the plan, honey. They're in the plan. They're one of the ones to be spared. They will not be annihilated, and all their kin are going to survive all this. However, that means nothing for us. That don't mean nothing for you and I. So what you going to do about it? Well, for the Acamax, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm letting them know that we understand what's happening, and we aren't for it, and we know that we are supporting Trump, and we know what's going on, and we are against the New World Order. And I regularly post stuff about the New World Order on my public Facebook for the world to see, and the public for all my people of different races to see, and everything, and political everything, because it's very important to me that people know that the Acamax are not stupid, that we actually see what's going on, that we peep the game, and we're not going for it. If you are silent, nobody knows that you're not stupid. Do you know that? Have you ever thought of that? That by being silent, nobody knows if you're stupid or not, because you're silent. Speak up and at least let people know that you're thinking about what's going on.
Lisa, I want to share something with people real quick. Just this is what I mean. Connect yourself to the land, you guys. All that it's a whole bunch of stuff that's going around in the indigenous community that is causing more confusion. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I've said this when I first came out. Find out where your people are from.
Right.
Find out where they're from. And here's a map. I hope you can see it. It's probably not coming in that good.
No, it's not. You showing the map from the summit,
Yeah,
from the not from the summit, from the tour, from the no grandma killers. Yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah, that's the map from the no grandma. It's not coming out good at all. But the no, but that yeah, that's what's that coach's map that he and his son put together, and it's really good. It has all these different tribes all over the map of America, and that's the thing. That's what yesterday I had an interesting opportunity because somebody came on my Facebook and was a Moor. And he was like wanted to be my friend. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have no time for no Moors. I'm not down with the Moors. And he was like, oh no, don't be like that, sister. Like, I'm sorry, I'm learning about my Indian, and I know that I'm an American Indian. Da 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 da. I know I'm Lumbee, and just like, and I'm like, okay. So I gave him a shot. We had a little chat, and I was like, look, this is what you need to do. First of all, when we use these blanket terms like Lumbee or Choctaw or Cherokee, these are blanket terms. They're big, broad terms, right?
Right.
And a lot of these terms are from after 1830. 1830, like I said, was the Nat Turner Uprising or the last big Indian War. Okay? So that last big Indian War changed the game. The books changed, the daggone the narration changed, the daggone direction changed. They shut it down on us. They separate. That's when after that, what happened? The Trail of Tears. Okay, the Trail of Tears happened after that. So you got to understand that anything written after 1830s, anything done after 1830s, is sus. So this terminology, like even if your grandma said I'm Cherokee, because my grandma, my people, they said that they were Cherokee, but that was the term for their time, that the government term. That was the government term of the age that they were in. And by looking back at old maps and researching, I would have thought we were Genghis-Khan, because that was another government term used in early 1800s when they tried to they renamed us from being Accomack to Genghis-Khan. All right, you go before that and look at the older maps and you see the Accomacs. So what I'm urging people to do is look as far back as you can in your little region, your little counties of where your people are at, and go with the family that the information comes out easily, because most of the people that actually that want you to find them and want you to know them are gonna their facts are gonna just fly to you. They're gonna come to you as a lot of times you get stuck on a family member because you just like your mama better or you like your daddy better, and so you want to research their people because that's who you like. But really, your ancestors that like you could be on the other side. Okay. So do not be like, well, I don't like, and then everybody says, well, oh, your mom. Let me tell you, there's mamas on both sides of the family. So all this thing about your mama's lineage, that's kind of shady, because at a certain point, your mama, you you're following mamas, but for every child, there's a mama and a daddy. So it's not a straight line. That's my point. And if you only claim your matrilineal, you're only claiming half of what you are. So it's like, whatever. Just go with the family people that want to be found. And that's gonna be the people that are just gonna be like boop boop boop. They're gonna be like, here's a clue. Who's it there? It's gonna be easier. So when you run into things that are very, very frustrating, maybe it's frustrating and confusing for a reason. Maybe they don't want you to know their business. Okay.
I see
And
that.
then the other thing is that these looking at old maps, like old maps from the 815 from the 1600s, 1517, early 1700s, look at those and look at that region that you find that family in that region, and look for those days. And you don't have to be a damn Lumbee or a daggone Choctaw. That's stupid. You got to find those other names like Ikatar, Choctaw. You know what I mean? And then hyphenate it. And that's who you are. That's who you are. Make your place, because your place is there. Identify your place and who you are. You ain't gotta be a umbrella term of a Choctaw. You don't gotta be a Pamunkey umbrella term. They don't want you. That's fine. You still a Pamunkey, but you got your own. You got your own chiefdom. You got your own search. There are Sir tribes. There are sub tribes. There are clans. Find your folk. They don't have to claim you. They use that daggone government term, umbrella term of Pamunkey, but there's a whole lot of sub tribes and tribes within that umbrella that you can organize your folk under, and other folk who are left out that's in that area. Reach out to. You know the surnames. You follow. You see them in the census. You see who lived in the area, and then you find them on Facebook, and you organize yourself on Facebook like the AmeRicans did. I turned my family page of Cyprus reunion into the Accomack page. Then I commenced to looking for all these different surnames that I found in my genealogy research, and I added them. I was like, I didn't just add them. I was like, hey, you're from here. Your people are from here. I analyzed them. I said, do all your people come from here? What's your name? Who are their names? And then I as they qualified genealogy wise, I added them to this membership page of the Accomack Indians. That's how you do it. And then once you have that done, you can go ahead and form your 503(c), form your corporation, and make these moves like the what do they call it? The Autonomous Assembly recommends we can do as organized Indians.
It's a
What
lot.
are you waiting for? Let's do some Autonomous Assembly, right?
Autonomous Assembly.
That's right. Make the moves that Bones and them have for you to do, but you can't do it as a selfish one person. You have to be an organized people. You can't do it like that. And know what? That means that you have to talk to somebody besides yourself and the people you talk about this shit over and over again to. You're going to have to talk to some people that have different views, and you're going to have to make them convinced of something that they're not really comfortable with. And that's going to take work, but that's what this is about. It ain't easy.
Yes, because that we're trying to do things individually. It will never work.
Yeah, you're trying to get claims for you and your sister and them. That ain't gonna work, because all it's gonna look is sloppy, and you're not gonna get turned down, and you're not a real organization. You can't make organization moves if you're not a real organization. You don't have anything behind it. When people go and I have people, colonialists and all kinds of people come and be nosy and try to get in my members page because they want to see what we're doing. When they want to see that we exist. They want to see that we're organized. You have to show that you're a people and you're organized and you're doing things. It's going to be steps. You're going to have to be in the community. You're going to have to create meetups and things like that and go to meetings, political meetings. Hello, you're going to have to go to government meetings, political meetings within the community to show that you exist and you're active and you're doing things and you're organizing things and you're creating business and commerce and you're trying to create agriculture or whatever else you are, or maybe you're doing, maybe you're, trying to raise livestock. I don't know what you're going to do, but whatever you're going to do, you need to be a part of the political machine. And this political machine, if it becomes a new world order, there is no place for you, for us.
So I hope
we're not part of it. They are showing it to you by the way they gave that land to the natives. And guess what? They are eliminating them now, because most of the people that are dying of this so-called COVID are actually Hispanic and Native American. So they're not worried about giving it to them because they ain't going to be around.
With all that said, and this is what I'm saying, y'all, you see the writing on the wall. You seeing what's going on. We either let it happen or we don't let it happen. I'm not letting it happen. I hope you guys are with me and see the way I see it. You letting a cat like Bill Gates run your life? Really? A dude who does computers. This is who you let dictate your life?
Right.
Really?
Right.
And like I said, all I see all I see is Negroes. Papa Fachi, what you want me to do, boss?
Yes.
That's how the majority of Negroes that live around here think.
You don't know this man. You think this man cares about you? You really think this man cares about you? You think that you are included in any thoughts of his as far as concern? You think he got concern energy? Then you really, your intuition is really off. Because his energy ain't nothing concerned about his energy.
So what's going on with so what, like you were saying, the MK Ultra box, the TV.
Right.
Could you
Well,
could you still believe it has such a big influence on us? I mean, I know we buy the 60, 75-inch TV screens, but most of us still think the TV is God's word.
that's right. Whatever we see on the TV and we follow it verbatim. And we will argue people, we will cut you over the we will,
Yeah,
people are really ready to cut each other or cut
yeah.
you down over defending what they have seen with their own eyes on the TV because it's got to be real. It's got to be real.
I have I get into it a lot with the people in the civil rights because I'm not a fan of the civil rights. I think it was bullshit from the outset. And I asked them, well, prove that it wasn't. I mean, you've had 60 years.
Right.
You've had
And
60 years to make this
well,
work.
what they don't understand is that the civil rights was the first MK Ultra media. That was our first big propaganda MK Ultra manipulation, right? Because if you even listen to people talk about it who are involved with the SCLC and NAACP now, they talk about how King had the foresight to use Medgar Everett's image. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Our Medgar Everett is a porn star today, right? Live knee on the neck, symbolizing the football players taking a knee. I'll show you how to take a knee. I'll take a knee on a nigga. That's what he was saying. I'll take it. You want to take a knee, niggas? This is how you take a knee. I'll take a knee on your neck, and you're next. That's what that was supposed to be.
Right.
And you're gonna tell me all the cops stood around and watched it, and the person videotaping watched it, and did nobody kick that white man in the head? Cause I kick him in the head and run. You ain't gonna catch me. You got other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, there's shit you could do. You could throw a damn purse at him or a fucking rock. You know what I mean?
Right.
You tell me nobody did nothing, throw nothing, and you're gonna tell me that big mother sucker, as hard as it is to actually get both your carotids, because you got another one. You know, you got another one. Now, if you land on the ground, this other one ain't getting crushed because it's right up here. It's not back, not over here. It's right up in the front. So as hard as it is for me to stop the blood flow when I'm taking a line right out of here, I have to press, 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 press. So you're going to tell me that this big, huge man died from an inadequately placed knee on his neck for 8 minutes when I have held pressure on somebody's carotid for over almost an hour just to stop it from bleeding. And then he has his other good carotid and they're talking to me and they're fine. So, I mean, I don't understand. So, I mean, this makes no biological sense to me. No, anatomy, physiology, biology doesn't make sense to me. Okay. So the other thing is, I don't understand the behavior of the people. I don't understand how they were vibrating before it happened. It didn't seem like there was any animosity, any attitude, any kind of like precursor that showed you that it was going to go left. So I don't understand any of that whole display. It didn't make sense. It looks fake as hell to me. I don't understand how people just see the act and they believe it's real. I don't understand that. I don't understand all this emotion for a porn star who was ugly as hell and really looked kind of gross. I don't understand that either. But you like not to say looks, but he was kind of creepy looking. But anyway, I don't understand that either, because I don't understand how they didn't have this kind of thing for all these boys and all these other people who have been killed, all these young ladies who are massacred in their homes. How come that wasn't the tipping point? I think the tipping point is because they're deprived of their rights and they had to stay in their house and they had to wear masks and they lost their jobs. And really, a lot of the outcry was about them feeling sorry for their own damn selves. That's why I think made it a tipping point. But
Yeah.
let me tell you, he was our Medgar Evers, and King pimped and manipulated the public through Medgar.
Explain how.
Because that lady, when she was being strong and showing her son, letting the world look at it, he rode on that pony. The daggone SCLC, the NAACP, and mostly the NAACP rode on that pony of Mega's death. Do you think y'all don't understand? My parents and most of our parents and grandparents for the lot of the younger ones, because my parent was like born in 1927. So my parent was right there during the movement, right? But a lot of folks was just looking at King like, mm. I mean, my family was not impressed with King. They were not impressed with none of that shit. It didn't really impact their day to day. That's the reality of the movement. Everybody didn't agree. Even the daggone so-called churches didn't support King. King was an opportunist.
But the idiot box tell us that he was the greatest man in the world.
Well, the opportunity was to do exactly what a lot of these people do. They know the truth and they use it to their advantage to help his friends and his family, his little circle. Everybody does it. That's the way. I get mine. You gotta get yours. I got mine. You gotta get yours. Don't tell nobody. So you sit up there and you go, hey, chief, hey, chief, hey, chief, hey, white chief. Hey, I know the truth. I know that we are the Indians. And I'm going to tell everybody, if you don't give me this check, you don't give me this and that. And if you help me, then I will calm these Negroes down. I will direct them into being obedient. And I will, give you some, some nice, compliant, citizens. I will deliver it. Okay. Okay, fine. You do that. Okay, well, we're gonna do a few marches and I'm making sure they're peaceful. But I need to get some public, I need to get some media in there so that everybody knows and we get a lot of energy about it. You see what I'm saying? This was all it was the first manipulation of the public.
Right.
And the agenda was to further distance us from who we are as a people and to put us in schools where we're actually programmed properly. Because in our own schools, we were actually coming out very confident and competent and proud.
Right. Okay, so now that this civil rights, that era is over. Now it's the civil rights children who's up at bat next. What do you see in the cards for them?
Well, no, they're not the civil. We passed that because the civil rights children were in the 1970s. That was like when my sister Deborah and them sister Deborah got out of high school in 1970. Okay, so they were the first civil rights children. They got a little bit. They got a little push for 2 years. They got affirmative action. They got pushed into college, and a few of them got good jobs, and some of them got into medical school. And not that they weren't smart enough to do it, because boo, if they weren't smart enough, they wouldn't have made it through. Okay, they wouldn't have passed none on that stuff. They wouldn't have done anything. We've always been smart enough for it, but we never were allowed to get in. So we had 2 years of that, and it ended. By the time my sister, that was this 4 years younger, went to school, that shit was over. But in the minds of the rednecks, they perpetually acted like we were constantly getting affirmative action. So even when I was in college in the 80s, they were like, "Oh, you getting?" I said, "I'm working my way through school. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Like, what am I getting?" But anyway, that's what the perception was amongst my cohorts who are hearts, that I was getting things that they weren't getting in their minds, because the political Republican machine uses their anger and their inferiority as being colonialists, or not being colonialists, as being slaves, white slaves, against them. They manipulate the white slaves all the time, making them feel like everybody's getting something but you. Everybody. Be mad at them. It ain't us doing it to you. It's them. When it's really them doing it to them, they're doing it to their own people because they don't like them poor people. They don't like white slaves. They have no use for them.
Right.
But they make the white slaves think it's us. They fall for it. They still falling for it.
Right.
It shouldn't be. And what we need to do is tell them, look, you're wrong, mad at the wrong people. We both being done wrong.
Right.
We both being manipulated. They are divide. It's divide and conquer. So you sitting up there getting your guns, trying to aim it at us. We ain't the ones you need to aim it at.
Right.
They used us as slaves, servants, and they used them as slaves and servants, and they stole our property. We all have something to be equally angry about. Not equally angry about. We all have something to be angry about, but we're angry at the wrong people.
So in this time, in this place and time right now, what would you suggest?
The first thing you guys need to do is you need to start, like I said, do your genealogy, and stop tripping over how you can't get back to the 1600s. Stop, first of all, stop tripping on that shit, because the 1800s is good damn enough. And then
Lisa just dropped on us.
yeah, I'm back. Visit that homeland. Visit the graves of the people that you can find. Reach out to them, say their names, let them know what you're doing, that you know who they are, let them know that what you're trying to do, and work to find more people, and try to get as many as your family to understand that they need to get it together and that we need to organize. That this is who we are. We're really the Hitachi, Choctaw, or whatever you are. You got to organize yourself as who you are, okay? Because faking it is not gonna make it. Because when you actually get in touch with your real ancestors, they gonna push you. They gonna make things happen for you. They gonna open doors like that you can't even imagine. Okay, they're gonna make the impossible possible, because they've been waiting for this. But you have to take action, and you have to stop being caught up on can't, and caught up on oops, and caught up on I don't know, and caught up on oh, but no. Go with the path of least resistance. That's what's gonna be the realest. And go look on the maps and find the oldest names you can locate, and then connect yourself. See what vibrates. Say it out loud. Find out who you really are. And now look at tax records. Look at where your people are from, and then also scan the tax records with the surnames of the people from your tribe. I bet there's unclaimed land out there too, or land still in your family's name. There ain't nobody got. Nobody's paid the taxes on, just sitting there in the country somewhere in Alabama or daggone Mississippi or daggone Louisiana, and ain't nobody actually even knowing about this spot. But you concentrate on the spot that your other cousin got that you want, and just don't just there's something for everyone. But everyone needs to share. As long as you're sharing, everybody's gonna have something. But it's when we get selfish, we ain't gonna have shit. So as long as what you find you're willing to share, you'll be all right. As long as you understand that everybody going forward that we're going to share, then you're going to be all right. As long as you're honest and you're upfront and you're caring and you're ethical, it's going to be all right. But you have to first of all do the research. Second of all, find the names, find the other people with names, not just your daggone family, the other families, and then also then start and find the real name of your real people, as close as what you know vibrates with you. But you gotta visit, you gotta go there, you gotta put your feet on the soil, you gotta put your bare feet in the soil of your people. You got to go to their tombstones. You got to go see their pay respects to your people.
What
You
about
can't do this from a distance, really. You really can't. You got to take a damn bus, whatever. But also, you locked down, so maybe you can't go. I don't even know. But you need to try to make it happen.
so? What about this relationship with nature? How should that play into it?
Well, I mean, this babe, you ain't got no choice. Right now, the world is changing. First of all, we're finding more and more that our everything we're consuming is crap. It's crap. And the more you become sensitive to it, the more you know that you just ate garbage. So we have to learn a new way of dealing with nature. We have to be comfortable with our own bodies, our own bodily functions, and taking care of ourselves and being able to deal with a different way of living within the soil, within the sun, within the rain. Be comfortable with the rain on your body. Be comfortable with the sun on your skin. Be comfortable with the soil or sand under your feet. Be comfortable with water. Be comfortable with whatever that your homeland has to offer you, because that is what the great that's where he put y'all. That's where nature puts you. So you have to be comfortable with where you are on this planet, because that's where you're gonna win. And don't think that it means you have to be like, oh, I'm Lisa in the woods. You don't have to be like Lisa in the woods. You People got money, you can have your own version of it. You can get your own little place built or buy your own little place, whatever. I don't know how you want to do it. Your version of it might not be exactly like my version of rehabbing a trailer and living in the woods. It may not look like me. That's okay. Your version of getting back to nature might be having a cute little cottage and a nice big garden and maybe a couple of chickens. I don't know what your version is going to be, and a few mushrooms. I don't know how your version is going to look. But you have to know what you're comfortable with doing at this time of your life, and what you want, what you foresee yourself doing. There are going to be people that you're going to reach out to who are going to want to raise those rabbits. I'd have people in the Acamax who want to raise rabbits. I have people in the Acamax who want to raise those turkeys and things like that. I have people that want to hunt those deer. Everybody's everybody brings their gift. And then you got people that like to build. There are people that like to experiment with different ways of generating electricity and power. Everybody has their gift. Some people like to sew or create things. It's time for people to start reaching in and finding out your gifts, and stop being entertained by something that is distracting you from what we used to do stuff. We didn't used to watch stuff. When I was in my trailer, I was doing stuff. I was like painting and putting down my flooring and, making my covers for my seats. And I was doing stuff. I was figuring out, oh, how am I going to go to the bathroom? Oh, how am I going to do my laundry? Oh, how am I, you know what I mean? So you're doing stuff.
Well, Lisa, I want to thank you for joining me again tonight. And I know I'm going to see you soon, right?
Right, right. Oh, also, let me tell you, it doesn't have to be that you have to make beads and do jewelry. Let me tell you something. You can create your own business. You can have a daycare. You can create a school. Anything you do in this life, you can make it as an indigenous person organized together. Y'all can make your own little city. If you like city dwelling, make your own, build your own city. Build your own city. If that's how, if you vibrate with the daggone city life and you want to have something, you don't want to have your restaurants and your, clubs and your whatever, you can make that life for yourself. You ain't got to be in the woods. If you don't want to be in the woods, you can create a bunch of daggone of whatever you enjoy. It's 2020. The sky's the limit. It's time for dreams to come true. That's what I tell the academics. It's time for dreams to come true. It's not time for you to be sitting up there like you're limited. Nobody has to draw out what being Indian means as far as how you live your life, as long as you're doing it in love and you're doing it with caring and respect, and you are ethical about what you're doing and honest. That's all I got to say.
Well, Lisa, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And before we go, I just want to say one thing to the listeners, is that you seeing the world is changing right before your eyes right now. What you gonna do? It's not just me. It's not just Lisa. It's every single last one of us. And one of the things Lisa said was, for us, reminded us to, is to share and stop being greedy and stop just thinking of ourselves, because it's more than enough to go around for everybody. Start hooking up like Mexicans hook up, like Indians over from India hook up, like all these foreigners coming over here. They do not hook up with you, especially the Africans. They don't hook up with you. They hook up with themselves to overtake you, because they see what we're acting like now.
Mm-hmm.
And time is getting thin, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Getting thin. So listen, we're going to see you with Spaceman tomorrow. And you guys have a good Friday night. Peace out.
All right. Bye.